Welcome back, everybody, to the Fighting for Freedom podcast. I just want to say thank you to everybody for all your love and support. You guys have helped this channel grow dramatically. If you could please, at this time, drop us a like, comment, subscribe, share our podcast, turn on those bell notifications, and leave us a rating and good review. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Before we get into the episode, I just want to say that the views presented are those of the speaker, and the guest do not necessarily represent the views of the Department of Defense or its components. Neither the Department of Defense or its components bears any responsibility for the accuracy, legality, or content of the views discussed on this podcast. Now, without further ado, let's get into this.
Fighting for freedom, one podcast at a time.
Welcome back to another episode of the pod. Today I am honored to be having you on my pod. This is one of those guys that I've had in my life forever. And when you live in New York, right? All right, buddy. We got the dogs in the background going
And
fucking
the cats,
crazy,
yeah.
and the cats. But when you're a New Yorker, right, and you got people who are close to you, you consider everybody family, right? When I was in boot camp, I used to write him letters. And the relationship we have is that I would write him letters, and he was a sergeant in the Army, and I used to spell sergeant wrong all the time. And I don't even think he knew how to spell sergeant, so it was perfectly okay. Anyway, I'd like to introduce Dylan. Dylan, what's up, brother, man? How you doing, bro?
What's up, dude?
Thank you so much for welcoming me to your house.
Cousin.
Yeah, cousin, cuzzo, whatever the hell you want to call it. How you been, bro?
Chilling, same old, bro.
Chilling? Thank you for coming out here, bro. We just want to, the dogs and the cats go, okay, they're good, bro. Leave me alone. We all family out here. Anyway, so thank you for coming out here, bro. I know when you found out I was doing this, you were like, when the fuck you gonna tell me about it?
Yeah.
Like when do I get to come out here? No, man, I mean,
Perfect, you had your wedding,
yeah,
which was a great fucking time.
that was a good
I
time.
haven't had a good time like that in a while. It was fun, yeah.
Yeah, it was nice. Nice rooftop, nice views,
Yeah.
good food.
Definitely.
No, it was
Great
fun,
food.
man. It was fun.
Delicious.
But all I know about you being in the military is that you were a sergeant, however the hell you spell that.
Yeah.
But like, when did you first enlist in the military?
So in 2013, well, 2012, actually I enlisted. And yeah, I had no idea anything about the military. I just knew 9/11 was a big thing with me. My grandfather was in the Marines. My uncle was in the Army. So those were like big things. I was like, I gotta do it. My parents didn't really want me to do it, so I tried college for a little bit. Didn't really work out. I'm not a college guy. And then I was just like, screw it. And I just went. I enlisted. I went to see the recruiter, and he was like, "What do you want to do?" I was like, I just want to shoot some shit, blow some shit up. He was like, "All right, infantry." I was like, "What's the infantry?" And then I figured that out. And then I also figured out how to learn sergeant, how to spell sergeant. I mean, when I became a sergeant, I learned how to spell sergeant because. And that's why I was in infantry, I guess, right?
Yeah.
So,
Now, you were born and raised in Staten Island, right?
yeah, born and raised.
Okay, so you kind of had no idea what you were doing. Went to college like everyone else.
Yeah.
That's like what I did, right? I went to college. I was like, this sucks, but I already paid, so I gotta finish it.
Lasted one semester.
And then we enlisted, right? Did you walk right into the Army recruiter's office, or did you go like Air Force, Navy, Marine?
No, I knew the Army. I knew I wanted to do the Army. I didn't know anything about it, like I said. I didn't know about MOSs, about jobs. I just thought the Army was like, go shoot people
Yeah.
and blow shit up. And I was like, all right, cool. And I went in there and they were like, oh, there's this and this and this. And then I took the ASVAB and whatnot, and then I got whatever I can get. And then at the time, I got into trouble a little bit as a younger kid. So really, the only thing I could do was the infantry, as high as my ASVAB score was.
Yeah.
And what is it called? The other score, the GT score, right?
I think it's different for you compared to
whatever it was. So I was like infantry, and that's it. I was like, all right, cool. That's exactly what I wanted to do. So that was it. And then they sent me off. pretty much.
Like in the infantry, do you guys have like certain jobs or whatever, or do you kind of just go to your school, like go to boot camp and then go to school and then like, all right, here's a list.
Well, in the army, it's like you got in the infantry, it's different than all the rest. So you got OSA. It's like one station unit training, I think it's called. It's been such a long time now. So you just do basic training, and then usually everyone does their, I think it's called AIT. But infantry, it's just you just do the one. You just go straight through. You do basic, and then you go to your unit right after that. So, like I said, you have your MOS, and then they just basically send you off. And I was supposed to actually go. You know, they tell you all these things in basic training. Oh, you could do this, you could do that. You know, you could be the president, you could do that.
You could be the president.
And then I got fucking sent to Korea for a year. Like, you know, like.
But
it was cool.
I want to know, like, what about boot camp for you was like so miserable, or what were your highlights in boot camp? Because you're like a tall, big dude.
Yeah.
Were you this tall and big when you were in boot camp?
Nah, I was a little skinny. I was a rail.
You
man.
were like a piece of
I'm
uncooked
like
spaghetti?
I'm like 230 right now. And I think when I joined the army, I was still like I'm 6'5" now. I think I was 6'4", and I was like 170 pounds soaking wet. I was a stick.
Okay. So you kind of had it a little rough, maybe?
Yeah. No, honestly, I'm broken now, man. If I did that shit now, no way. I was a little stud, to be honest. You know, the smaller, skinnier you are, I feel like you wiggle your way through, I feel, you know. So, I don't know. I did pretty well in basic training. I always had, like, my PT score was always the 300. I was always above the scales with that. I actually had top shot in my basic training class.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Because I'm a fucking sniper. So...
Was that like your real job? Or
No.
okay,
I'm just not. I'm just a good shot. I didn't, like I said, they put you. You don't get to pick anything.
Yeah.
A lot of people think like, oh, I'm gonna go do this. It's not the way it works, man. You know, and it's cool. You know, you get to do a lot of cool shit, but really, it's wherever you go, wherever your unit is. So like, I went to Korea. There's air assault there. But when I was there, they didn't do that course for like a couple of years.
Okay.
You know, so basically, yeah. So I didn't really get to do any schools pretty much except like air assault. But then when I was doing air assault was when or mountain school I was going to Afghanistan, so I couldn't even finish up the school, and I wasn't not going to go to Afghanistan to do a air assault school. Yeah. You know what I mean? So yeah, that was that.
What is mountain school?
Mountain school is like what they do with drum. So for a drum, basically, you just freeze your ass off and you just do a lot of walking up mountains and shit. And they call it the Princess Leia badge. It's actually not a badge you can wear in a uniform. You got to wear it like a sniper badge, like you wear it under your flap. You know what I mean? So it's actually a pretty cool thing. But again, they weren't doing that. You know what I mean? There's a lot of classes that a lot of people don't even know that they don't do all the time. You know what I mean? So
I get you. They kind of did the same with us. They sent us like a jungle warfare, where it's like, like if we're gonna go to war, right? You know, whatever the case may be, they're just preparing for any situation, right? Yeah. And it was kind of the same thing. Carrying a ruck, 90 pounds,
Yep.
up a mountain, down a hill, and you're just like, why the fuck am I here? But everything's for a purpose,
Yep.
you know? Like
Yeah.
they make you realize that, you know, where you potentially will go, it's gonna fucking suck.
Yeah.
So this sucks, and you're home. So when you potentially go over somewhere, it's gonna suck even
They
more.
break you down to build you up.
yeah. Break me down. How about you suspend my Domino's account for a week? That'll break me down. That's like the
Fat boy snacks.
That's like the number one ordered thing in the military.
Yeah,
I swear to
I know,
God, you
I
see
know.
Domino's in Copenhagen.
Domino's, Copenhagen, and like 25% car loan rate for the new projects. I don't know what they're doing.
So if someone was to walk into like an army recruiter's office, and let's just say you're there as like a civilian trying to like help this kid, coach this kid, what like advice would you give him before he walks in there?
I would say do a little more research than I had when I joined, because like I said, I didn't really know what the hell was going on. I didn't really have anyone to guide me. I didn't know much about it. I think my recruiter just kind of was trying to just punch in numbers.
Yep.
You know how that goes. You know, be careful of that if you are trying to join. I mean, I would, like I said, I would just look more into it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if if you want to do something when you come out of the military, like infantry is really not, you know what I mean? It's not, you're not going to be able to do much, like, security.
Yeah, you could be
a cop
maybe.
or something like that, but
Yeah.
anyone could do that, you know. So if you want to do, like, there's a lot of cool jobs in the military. A lot of people say infantry, but you know, you can't have the infantry without the rest of the jobs in the military too.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't give a shit what any infantry guy says. You know, supply guys are my best friends. Cooks, how am I supposed to eat?
Yeah.
Daddy's got to eat.
Yeah.
So you know, but yeah, there's a lot of cool shit. So like I would say, just look into it. You know, do your research. You know, talk to your recruiter, talk to other people. And if you want to be like a mechanic after, do something in that field. Do something in the vehicle field. If you want to be a pilot, shit, go work. Even if it's not flying, you could be a mechanic on and you can learn the in and outs of the whole of a Black Hawk. You can learn the in and outs of a you know, whatever. You know what I mean? A Chinook, whatever. So it all going crazy.
That's alright. Yeah, we got the dogs in the background going
Yeah.
fucking crazy.
Oh,
Nah, that's all good though. But alright. I mean, I do get that a lot. That was one thing that I wished I would have did a lot more. Even though I'm happy, right? Because when I joined the military, I chose something that I can carry over, right? Being a plumber, doing vertical construction, prime example.
And see, I didn't even know about that. When you told me you were doing it, you were like, "Oh, I'm doing a CB, right?"
Yeah.
I was like, "What the fuck is a CB?"
Yeah, you gotta Google it.
Yeah. Well, you told me, and then I did. I googled it a little bit, and I was, it's pretty cool. It's like, you know, construction where you get out and you could, bro. There's so many opportunities, you know. I'll tell you straight up, you go join the infantry, there's not a lot of it. It's cool, it's all awesome. You shoot shit, people, blow shit up. You know, you do army shit, but when you get out, you're like a lost puppy.
Yeah.
You
For
know,
the last 5 years,
which-
you've been doing that.
Exactly.
And I was like, how the fuck am I gonna work for Con Edison?
Exactly, man.
That
you
doesn't
know?
make sense.
Exactly. So.
But we'll get into more stories because with shit like that, being in the infantry, being in the army, I'm sure you have some memorable experiences.
Oh yeah.
I just seen you smile, and I'm like, yeah, he knows.
Yeah.
Every tattoo here has.
Something
Not
like
every
that.
tattoo has a meaning, because you know I got a lot too, but a
Some
lot
of them were
do
just
it.
weird nights.
Yeah.
With your boys.
Yeah. When there's no curfew.
Yeah.
So you get to Korea, and like, how does that go? They're like, McMahon, you're gonna
So
go
yeah.
clean shit for a year.
So yeah, again, I'm this new private, show up to Korea, don't know what's going on. You're in this new country, everyone's this big, and you know, you're like, what the heck's going on? You're like, I don't even, still, I'm in base training, I don't know whether to call sir, sergeant, whether to stand at parade rest, whether to stand at attention. I'm standing at parade rest for an officer, I don't know what's going on. So then I actually got called because I was tall. I got put on the JSA in Korea, which is the DMZ, the demilitarized zone.
Okay.
So there's only 60 people on that base, and you know, so it's in the middle of bumfuck Korea. It's like it's literally on the border of North Korea and South Korea. So like, that's where I worked for 6 months, which is pretty cool. You know, you get to see a lot of shit. You know, you face to face with North Korean soldiers. It actually had one instance where one of the North Korean soldiers crossed the line one day, and yet again, I was a brand new private, didn't even have my M9 qualification, had an M9, and he crossed the line, and I'm like, they don't even understand. I'm like, yo, back up, you know what I mean? And everyone's like this, and then you gotta have the ROK soldiers or the South Korean soldiers. You gotta have them, like, you know, tell them, you know, back up whatever they're saying in their language, you know, and it's just you know, you're trying to just get, but then, you know, you start getting used to things, and then you meet a lot of people, then they fill you in, you know, you meet your boys. I met one of my good friends to this day, my friend Nigel, shout out.
Shout out Nigel.
And he was my supply guy, you know, and I actually wound up at Fort Drum with him too. I see him be at his wedding next month. Great friend of mine, yes. It's like, you know what I mean, great friends. You meet great people, man. People you see your whole life. Everywhere you go, you'll know someone.
Yep.
So, but, you know, he told me the in and outs of that place, and I had actually still, you know, you have a curfew in Korea. And I had, you know, we used to do a lot of drinking and stuff like that at nighttime sometimes, you know, on weekends, and you had to get back by the curfew, and there was a big bridge you had to cross. So you're not supposed to bring girls back to base. So what happened? I was past curfew and I had a girl in the cab. So and it just so happened that the car that was there was the Rock Army, the Sergeant Major of the Rock Army was the guy that picked me up and drove me back. So the next morning I woke up, my Sergeant Major was standing outside my barracks room. I was in my underwear like, oh shit. And then they get sent back over the bridge. It was just, and they're very strict up there. They want it, you know. There's only 50, 60 people on that base. So then I got sent to Camp Casey, which was not mad about. Met a bunch of a lot of other cool people. I got sent down to a tanker company, 172. And again, met a lot of other cool people, a lot of great experiences. I was a lot closer to Seoul. Now you're in a big base, you know what I mean? You could take weekend passes, you know, you could. So that was cool. It was just a lot different than up at the JSA. So there's a lot of different stuff there. And then there's a lot of different bases there. You know, people from all over the world there, like English teachers from literally all over the world. You know, people. So. You know, I met some people out of the army too, out of the military, and I still talk to this day. You know what I mean? So it's again, just experiences, man. Yeah. So I still to this day, like you said, I'll smile like this every time I think. I'll think of this day or that day, and then you weren't supposed to do it. I got this whole sleeve done in Korea. You know what I mean? This guy Kimmy, and 50-year-old guy, he came out, partied with us one night after he did my tattoo. And it was just cool, man.
That's why I like doing this, man. Cause like shit like that. Like, when was the last time you sat down and like actually thought about it? I mean, like talk about it. You know what I mean? Like it's good to reminisce and also have somebody listen. I guess.
For real.
But what I do know from my experiences is if you go from a camp, right, that's 50, 60 people, and you get in trouble, it's kind of fucked.
Yeah.
But when you end up going to a bigger camp, closer to the city, closer to alcohol, closer to people, that's where shit gets fucked, and that's where you end up getting in trouble. Yep. So if you got trouble in a camp with 60 people.
Yeah. I got some stories, man. I don't know if we should I got some stories,
you
man.
Can keep it light and sweet, whatever you want to say. The floor is yours, man.
Well, and we got, like I said, it was a lot of cool training and stuff, but that's all you're doing for you. Train.
Yeah.
And then, they say that everyone who's been to Korea knows, they say the best way to get your specialist while you're in Korea is to go there as an E5, to go there as a sergeant. Because everyone gets in trouble there. It's something in the air. Yeah. So, me, my boy Schroeder, Link, we went out one night, and I don't even know if we're supposed to name names, but whatever. You guys probably don't care. And, we just cruising to town, drinking soju, breaking shit, windows, and then the cops came, and then I wound up fighting 10 cops, so they don't carry guns, so they're all this big. So I'm like, boom, boom, we get away, and then I get teased, and then we got brought in there, but then they let us go, man. They were really cool, the cops in Korea, ain't gonna lie to you. We just paid for the damages. And then that stayed off the blotter report, thank God. Otherwise I probably wouldn't have had the rest of my experience in the Army. So that was, like I said, I don't even know if I should be saying this, but
no, you're good.
This
is the past, and you have your DD 214 hanging up on the wall right there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Nah, you're good, man. These are experiences. There was no harm, no foul.
Just fun times.
Yeah, as long as you
no one got hurt. You know what I mean? Exactly. The stupid kids, I was 19 in another country, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they took you out of Staten Island and put you in Korea.
Yeah.
What do you expect to happen?
Exactly. Yeah. With a bunch of people in Texas and Wisconsin, you know what I mean? A bunch of hillbillies. I came back and everyone was like, you sound like you're from the South. And I was like, all right, y'all.
Yeah, all right, y'all. Yeah. We don't say y'all, we say yous. The two youths. Anyway, all right. So you, that's fucking funny. So you're in South Korea for 1 year, right?
Yeah.
And then what happens? Is that like your end of tour, or do you get deployed somewhere else? You go back home?
No. So after Korea, I wound up doing 13 months there. It was whatever. It was like I said, it was whatever. And then I got sent. I was supposed to go to Germany. And I was like, it's sick. At this point, I'm just doing overseas tours. I'm like, whatever. They already sent me here. It's 2000, end of 2013 at this point. I'm like, all right, whatever. Germany, I have everything set. Like, that's what it was supposed to be. Excuse me. And then, look at my orders. Fort Drum, New York. I was like, God damn, better pack a jacket.
Yeah.
You know, it was very cold at Fort Drum. It's Watertown, New York. So, yeah, then I went to Fort Drum. And pretty much right when I got to Fort Drum, I was there for a few months. Boom, Afghanistan. But it was great. I know. I love Fort Drum for the fact that I'm from Staten Island. You know, same. And it was a 5-hour drive. So on weekends, I get to drive home, see the fam. You know what I mean? So, and you know, before the army, I didn't have a car, none of that shit. You know, join the army, it's good, man. You start building your life. You start becoming a man. Like, if I didn't join the army, I don't know where I'd be in life, man. You know, I have everything I have, you know what I mean? Whether it's good, bad, it's all because of the army, you know, but it was the best decision I ever made.
Yeah.
That I gotta say.
They give you money, they give you food, they give you clothes, they give you a house, they give you everything.
That's it, man.
And those are the essentials in life.
Yeah,
and then,
and a new family.
Yeah.
Honestly, bro.
You gotta wake up early, do some dumb shit every now and then.
Yeah.
Was that the first time you took leave since you joined the military? Technically, right? You're going home.
Yeah. So right after basic, I couldn't even take leave. I got like 3 days. No one came and visited me.
Oh,
I think my grandfather came for like a day or two, but yeah, I went to Korea. Couldn't take leave. You know, it sucked because when I was gone, my grandmother, actually, I was very close to her. She had actually passed away. While I was gone, and I couldn't go home to see her, and that crushed me. You know, that was my girl, my grandmother. But you know, it is what it is. You know, she's in a better place. She was suffering, and she actually passed away on September 11th too.
Really?
Yeah, which is coming up in a couple of days. So, yeah, so when I got back, I got to take my leave. I got 30 days. So
you were banking.
I was
chilling. You had all that Korea money.
Yeah,
you were coming home.
I was chilling. Yeah, for sure.
That's
for sure.
Dope.
So I hung out and then shot up to Fort Drum, which is easy because it was just a drive. I didn't have to fly nowhere.
Yep.
I had all my stuff. I could have left half my stuff at home because I knew I was coming back. I didn't have to rush anything, throw 100 bags on a flight. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, because going to Korea, man, with all that shit, you know, 170 pounds, you know, and it wasn't fun, man. But again, experiences, man. And then Fort Drum, I met a lot of good people, man. I was in 214, best unit in Fort Drum. Don't want to hear it.
You better hope that's what your orders say.
Yeah.
So you were with 214 for like 5 months, right? And then that's like when you got shipped out.
Yeah. Well, I was in 214 the rest of my career in the Army.
Okay.
Pretty much, I was at Fort Drum the rest of my 3 years. So I did. I think I was at Drum for. I can't even remember how long. I can't even remember all the dates, but I was there, and then we got put on I guess the end, there were people already on deployment, you know what I mean? So some people got sent out, some people rear D and stuff like that, you know. So then the big deployment came, which was we were I guess we went to Afghanistan for 11 months at that time. You know, everyone else it was 3 months, and then it was I think it was 7 months later we went for 11 months. So then pretty much my whole time in the military is pretty much overseas, which I thought was pretty cool, man. You know, because being home paperwork and mopping and sweeping, the shit sucks.
Yeah, you push paper all day.
Exactly. And Korea's not at the point. It's an overseas tour, but still, it's it's a little different, and you get paid a lot more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You get your coal pay, you get your combat, hazard pay, and this and that. You know, but you're in Afghanistan, you do your job, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's no next.
It's not, I'm not going to tell you it's fun to have you go to take a shit and you have to have an M4 in your lap to take a shit in a hole, you know what I mean? Take baby wipe baths all the time, you know? But it was fun at the same time, you know? You got your boys next to you, man,
That's the most fun you never want to have ever again.
Exactly. I just seen my boy, he lives in Brooklyn, and he was one of my privates. You know, because I picked up my sergeant in Afghanistan. Actually, I picked up my sergeant in 2 years. That's the earliest you could pick it up. Like I said, I was a stud.
That was just like me. I picked up E5 and like the quickest you possibly
exactly,
could.
Yeah.
And I was like, great, now what? They're like, responsibility. I was like, fuck.
And then you got the kids who are your boys who, like, you know, they're like kind of a little jealous about it and they don't want to be like, but I'm like, dude, I don't care. I'm never that type. I don't have an ego. I hang out with privates. Like I said, I'm not in it anymore. I hang out with privates on the weekends. I hang out with majors. We'd be out. You know what I mean? So I didn't, you know, if you knew how to keep yourself, you know, not saying do that if you're, you know, this just the shit. And those are different times. Times are a lot different now. I've been seeing it, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, man. So like, you know, you pick up, there's responsibilities, and yeah, I was ready for it. It's what I wanted. You know what I mean? Got my stripes. You know, it's sick. It's fucking awesome. You know what I mean? I was a sergeant. I was 21 years old. I was a sergeant, squad leader.
Yeah.
In charge of 20 dudes. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what? You know what I mean? I was a team leader first, you know, and then they made me squad leader, and then because my squad leader became a section sergeant, you know what I mean? Because I was a Delta company. So I was, like, it was great because I was in vehicles all the time. Except when you ride around Kabul and you're dodging VBIDs, which is a vehicle-borne IED. You know, you're dodging IEDs all day, and then boom, one day you get blasted, and it sucks. It's not fun, you know. But, you know, Delta Company was cool, you know, like, and you pick up different responsibilities. So even being in infantry, you could have different jobs. You could be, what the heck was it called? The car, like not a carpool, you're in charge of all the vehicles. So the MRAPs.
The vehicle command.
Something it was something like that. Yeah, I can't remember exactly what it's called, but you could do that. You could be in charge of all the weapons, you know what I mean? So you have different jobs you could do, and you get certs for them, which you could use later on, you know what I mean? So, and you learn a lot of shit, you know what I mean? Do a lot of PT, you keep up in your PT, you keep your guys in check, you know what I mean? You keep your guys all ready, you keep your guys fed, make sure everyone sleeps right, make sure that they're cleaning, because a lot of dudes don't like to shower, man. Yeah. And it's fucking filthy. Yeah. I'm a clean dude. I don't care if I gotta take a wipey bath. I'm doing it. You know what I mean?
We've all been there.
Yeah, man. I've had some stinky birds, man.
Everyone has those. Yup. And you're just like, bro, there's more holes in your boots than Swiss cheese. You know what I mean?
God, like, bro. Shit, man.
Like, if you need extra boots, like, I got you. I'm just tired of seeing fucking white and brown socks.
Yeah, man. Nah, for real. You know, but
have you ever had to, like, pick anybody up and, like, throw them and, like, hose them down? We weren't allowed to do that, but we've definitely been close.
We weren't allowed, but we've done it.
Yeah.
You know, like, and you know, but you gotta be careful. You know, the hazing thing, but you know who deals with, like, you know, these are the when I joined the Army, I didn't care about what the new rules were or whatever. Like, that's what I was. I was a man. If I was following the rules, if I fucked up, then I would suffer the repercussions. I took my smokings. I did what I had to do. You know, I've been smoked, which is, you know, you make push-ups, sit or whatever you got to do.
Yeah, they get your ass.
Roll like bacon, do whatever you got to do, this crazy shit. Fucking sweep the sun off the sidewalk. You know what I mean? Do all this you know, there's fuck games, but then it's serious too. Like, yeah. You know, I had this dude, like I said, we had the MRAPs, and then the MRAPs, the doors come down, and you're supposed to clear it from the front. This dude, I'm not even gonna name his name. I did not like this dude. I hated this guy, and he's a fister, and the fisters are like to do something like call in artillery strikes and stuff. Ring. Artillery strikes, and this guy, he didn't clear it, and I'm sitting behind there smoking a cigarette after a patrol one day on the T-wall, and this fucking lowered the thing, bro. He almost took my legs off, bro. Swear to God, me and my boy just talked about this. Pinned me up against. Thank God my section sergeant was there. Screamed at him, but he smoked him until he was like, "Yo, McMahon, you're good going." So I was ready to kill him.
Yeah.
He's like, "McMahon, you know me."
Took my fucking legs.
You almost, you're like, my own boy took on our fob after a patrol. You know, doing whatever we're doing all day. That's how it's, you know what I mean? But dude, you got to be careful. Yeah. You're dealing with a lot of serious, like, machinery and shit. Some of the shit that I don't even know about. Like, you know what I mean? Like, obviously I was trained when I got to a Delta company, but you have all this shit. I wasn't a driver. You know, I forgot what the MOS for that is, what the name of it is. But like that wasn't my specialty, you know. So this kid, he just wasn't all there. Lowered the thing, yeah, and then they took care. But you gotta teach. That's how you learn, man. That's how you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I'm a hands-on guy. I don't learn. You don't see hey, it's gonna be okay.
Yeah. No,
It's not the way it fucking works.
Yeah. I
You know
can't
what I mean?
read a book either and figure it out. I need to see.
Exactly.
Like,
It's not the way it worked when I was a kid with my father. You know, if I fucked up when I was a kid, I got smacked. I got my ass kicked.
Yep.
And I deserved it.
Yep.
And I learned from it because I didn't want to get my ass kicked again. I didn't get babied. You know, maybe like, you know, it was right, it was wrong. But for me, that's how I was raised. So but a lot of people ain't like that. You got to be careful, you know, but that's the way I like to do things. You know, when I was a sergeant, if you didn't like it, you know, then you couldn't be in my squad, man. You know, but that was how my platoon sergeant was too. We had a good squad. We had a good platoon, man. We had a great group of guys. Everyone messes up every now and then. You know what I mean?
We're all human.
I forgave the kid. I'll still pull him out of anything. You know what I mean? I'll carry him out. Anything ever happened? That's not how it goes. You know what I mean? We're always there for each other, no matter what. No matter how much you don't like each other. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It's just a lot of safety stuff, man. You know, you got some kids that like, you know, they do MDs and stuff like that. But you know, it's all you learn. You live and you learn, man. You know,
like, what do you guys do for like fun? What you do for fun in Afghanistan? Like, you know, like when you're driving home and you're like, I got fucking 3 slices of pizza in the fridge. I'm about to fuck that up. Like when you're done with your patrol and you're on your way back, like what are you like looking forward to doing?
Oh, it wasn't no pizza. I'll tell you that much.
I'm just giving
I wish there was pizza.
Like an analogy example.
Oh man, lift. I used to work out like crazy.
That's
you
all
know,
there
I
is
got
to do,
huge,
right?
man. I left Afghanistan. I was walking through the door sideways with 250. No one was touching me.
That's how everybody was, though, right? They come in tiny and then.
And then leave. You know, you just got to eat. A lot of protein, you know what I mean? I made sure my guys are lifting, you know, and then you just hang out with your boys, man. You have like a football, fucking do weird, crazy shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's just the way it goes, man. Like, you fight, you box, you sometimes someone's got a movie on a laptop or, you know what I mean, some sort of stupid game. Play that. You keep yourselves busy, man. Otherwise, you go nuts. You're gonna go crazy. If you could catch up on sleep when you can. I've never been a good sleeper, you know. So as far as fun, I don't know. I did have fun.
Yeah. You had fun in different ways.
But that shit sucked.
Yeah.
You know, everyone's like, "How was Afghanistan?" It's like, it's a shithole.
Yeah. It's not a beach resort.
Yeah.
I heard they have sand there.
It's not fucking. Yeah. It's not Australia. It's not. You know, like it's a dump, you know, but there's also a lot of good people there too. Like we had an interpreter, Ansar, I'll never forget that guy. We had a couple of shit interpreters, but Ansar was a great guy. He lives in Delaware now. I keep in touch with him and talk to him. I haven't talked to him like a good year and a half. I've had a long fucking year this last year and a half, of a lot going on, so personal shit. But
I was gonna say, like, a lot of the locals or, you know, Afghan military or police or whoever, like people that are like working, you know, helping the U.S. Like you met a lot of good people that way too, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's someone like because you're with these guys nonstop.
Yeah.
Like you're deployed over there. They live there, so they can't go nowhere.
Yeah.
And it's just like what's that interaction like when you first meet them?
When you first meet them, you gotta be weary. I don't know these fucking people. And there's I think we're green on blue. I think it's called. We're blue, they're green. Or blue on green. It's like a code they use for like, you know, it's like, you know, they'll betray us. You know what I mean? They're really working for the Taliban. And it's been plenty of times where, like, you know what I mean, there has been interpreters or workers within the FOBs that, you know, they'll betray us. They'll steal intel. They'll kill someone. You know what I mean? Like, and it sucks. You can't trust these guys. You can't trust anyone. Like me personally, you can't trust no one in life. You have yourself. You know what I mean? You trust people to a point, but you build. What's that? They always use that word. Repertoire. You build the relationship.
A reform.
Yeah, you build a relationship.
Yeah.
Some fancy word that I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
Still relax.
but then like when you finally are like, you've been with them for 12, 13 months, you finally are able to leave there and be like, that's my boy. Like you said,
my
like
fucking dude.
Ansar's your boy.
Ansar's my guy. Lives in Delaware now. I got 3 kids. His wife's there. They all got their green cards.
But without him, you wouldn't know a fucking. You'd be lost out there.
Yeah,
Really.
yeah, because I don't know the language. Hey, stop.
They're going crazy. And they want to be on the pod, bro.
Yeah,
Scott,
I know.
Scott, come up here.
She's under the
you want
thing
to say
right
something?
now.
Oh, she's under the. Oh, yeah. She's hiding, bro.
Can I smoke in this podcast?
Yeah, bro, you can do whatever you want. This is your house. Thank you for welcoming us into your house.
I don't usually smoke in my house, but
I think this is okay.
yeah, this is good.
This setting is okay.
It's the podcast.
Yeah, it's the podcast. Yeah, bro. Your lungs are fighting for freedom.
Yeah.
So when you when you're in Afghan, oh yeah, say what's up, buddy. He's looking for the cat. Yeah. You don't want to say nothing. So when you're in Afghanistan, right, and you got all these buddies, like, what would be like your most memorable story? You don't have to go outside the wire. You can stay in the wire. Whatever you want.
I just got
one day that you would
just a ton, man. Like, just hanging with your boys, man. Like, just doing just laughs, man. You gotta laugh, because if you're not laughing. There's a lot of bad shit that happens. I got a lot of bad shit that happened when I was there, man. We, thank God, in our company, we held all our guys, man. But there was a lot of other people that we lost. You know what I mean? I was on QRF for a while, so I seen a lot of IEDs, a lot of explosions, a lot of bodies, a lot of bad shit. Helicopter accident one day. You know what I mean? But we were there. Helicopter went down. We pulled 5 out. We pulled 10 out. 5 lived. We weren't there. Those 5 people wouldn't have been here.
Yeah,
so you know what I mean? Everything happy, whatever. That's you sign up. That's what you do. But what I remember the most is you try not to remember that as much as you do. And we can talk about that later, like mental health and all that shit. Because that's big. I'm big on that.
Yeah, I would love to hear what you have to say.
Yeah. But. Just your laughs with your boys, man.
Yeah,
I'll never forget, like, some of these times, man. Like, you have your little mates that you sit in the holes with. You sleep with at night. You're sleeping with these dudes, man. You shit back to back with these guys sometimes, man. You're holding guard while they're taking a piss on one knee. Like, these are the guys. You got your life. You got each other's lives on the line with each other. Pretty much like. So you really got to trust some of these, as much as you can't trust, you got to trust some of these guys. But, like, just being there with them and, like, no, oh, shit.
Oh, we're going down. All right,
you guys need to fucking calm down now. Has that ever happened?
No.
That is the first.
Only in this house.
God.
Oh my God,
bro.
Hey, we're going to take a quick intermission and we'll be right back.
Shit, yeah.
No, you're
Go
good,
ahead, get out of here. Go. You too. Go.
For those of you who are listening, the cat and the dog had a little too much fun with the curtain behind us, and
Yeah.
you're good, bro. Don't
Should
worry
I put
about
him
it.
I'm gonna put him in a cage.
No, he's fine. Let him do his thing.
I'm gonna put him.
All right. Anyway, well, I mean, I'm definitely excited to hear. This guy's been in my family for a long time, right? Obviously, mental health is a thing every military person goes through, whether it's good, bad, happy, sad. So I'm definitely excited to hear what he's gonna have to say a little bit. Oh, you're
I got a lot
good,
of
right?
animals. I got a farm.
Yeah, well, that's what happens,
Yeah.
Every man needs a dog.
Yeah, and 2 cats.
Yeah, because sometimes we just don't want to deal with the fucking dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I mean, I have stories like that too.
Yeah.
You're on watch for 26 hours a day in a fucking hole. It's hot, and then it's cold, and then it's hot, and you're just miserable.
Yeah.
So those are some of the best times. And you're sitting there. One time, it was so fucking cold. We were on watch. We were in pits, right? And we didn't know what to do because we were freezing. All of the hand warmers are going out, bro.
Oh, yeah.
We're hugging each other, and we're like, fuck it, let's start a fire. So we dug a little hole in our pit, and we take these fucking MRE things, and we start lighting a fire. We finally get a go. We see Flame. We're fucking happy. We're cheering. Our squad leader comes running. And he's like, yo. So he jumps in the pit. We're all warming up. Next thing we know, we hear footsteps. We're like, well, it's one of our homies. We turn around. It's our CO.
Yup.
The 05. And he's like, what are we doing? I'm like, sir, it's fucking cold. And he's like, keep it down. All right. I'm like, you know what I mean? Like someone walks up to you like that, and you're like, fuck. Like, anywhere else, you'd be in deep shit.
Yeah,
but he's like, they're awake. They're happy.
Yeah.
Morale's up for him.
Yeah, morale.
It's a fucking fire in a hole. Like,
let them live.
Yeah,
Let 'em
exactly.
live.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's the littlest shit, man. You like really, you could have the worst fucking day ever. You could have a terrible day, a terrible patrol, whatever goes on. You have someone, you know, an IED go, something bad will happen. You get back, you hang out with your boys, and have a funny story just like that with a fire. A lot of people don't realize it gets cold in Afghanistan, man.
Yeah.
It's hot and it's cold. It's seasonals. You know, there's Iraq's where it's really hot. You know what I mean? But now, like, we got back one day, and same thing. Like, we made this little fire.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
always fire.
Exactly.
Military loves fire.
Loves fire. Loves it. Little pyros everywhere. So, you know, we got all the, they called it foot bread. We got all the bread. Food was a big morale boost. You know, the watermelons are this big. I love watermelon.
Yeah, it's good as fuck.
You know, so, and that's the best watermelon you're ever going to eat in Afghanistan.
Really?
They're the size of, they're this fucking big, bro. And you give them $5, you get 8 watermelon and 10 loaves of bread. It's the best thing ever. So you get that, then you get one of the lambs or whatever, or the sheep from the locals. You get you make the fire, you get the roast, everyone chills around. Somehow someone got some, let's say, non-alcoholic beers. Someone got those in, you know what I mean? And it's just, you drink, everyone's drinking, you take the cases of Rippets out the Connexes, drinking 13 energy drinks, you know what I mean? Everyone people that don't smoke cigarettes are smoking cigarettes, chewing dip. Everyone's having a good time, laughing, you know what I mean? That's the good shit, man. You know, that's, if I didn't have that, I didn't talk to,
You're good.
I'm good?
Yeah, you're good.
I didn't talk to anyone all day long, you know what I mean? I didn't like talk to people back at home all the time. I wasn't big on writing letters, you know. I had me and my family, we've you know, been on, like, you know what I mean. But that's more personal shit. You had your boys, you know what I mean. If I didn't have that, fuck, man, I would have lost my mind. You know what I mean. And I still talk to someone to this day. You know, I've just seen my boy from Brooklyn. A month before that, I was in Nashville with one of my other boys. You know what I mean? It's just, like I said, you go anywhere and you see them, and it's just, that's the biggest thing for me. Like the shit you build with these guys, man, they become like your brothers. It's the greatest feeling ever, man. Like having that loyalty, you know what I mean? Like dudes that would die for you. You know, you don't have that back here. It's not like that where I'm from. You know what I mean? It's everyone. It's just different. We'll put it that way.
I had one of my best homies in my wedding. He's one of my groomsmen.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And
I was there.
Yeah, you were there.
Yep.
Yeah, he was. You know, I never would have met him. He's from California. He's some Spanish dude, and I'm some New York dude, Italian. You know, like we would have never clicked. We would have never, you know, met. We would have had a conversation. But because of the military, you know, it brought that relationship 100%. To where it is now. But so, all right, when do you finally leave Afghanistan? You're like, all right, my 13 months is done. What would that be, like 2014?
15.
2015?
Yeah, at this point, yeah, it's 2015.
And that's when you're done?
And yeah, that was my last deployment. And then I got back, and then it sucks. Garrison life sucks. Rolling into that. And then, you know, it's a big change, man. You know, like, when I got back, like, shit really, it was different. You know, I thought, you know, you don't want to talk about it. Now I'll talk about it. You know, I always bottled shit in for a long time. Yep. Don't do that shit. Because it comes back to you as bad in the long run, you know. And I've had some struggles over the years, and but going back to that, we're not gonna skip time. You know, just right when we get back, you know, just you're so happy to get back. You know what I mean? Everyone's so happy. Everyone's family's there. You know, and I have a great family. Mine wasn't able to make it when I got back, but I was at Fort Drum. Once the weekend was over, I went right home to surprise my family, you know what I mean? So I was cool with that. Honestly, I was rather than not have been there. I had to get you know what I mean, to
Get your shit
take
together.
a breath. You know what I mean? Like it's weird when you get back, man. It's different from having to sleep with a gun with one eye open every night. You know what I mean? To coming back. Now you're in a bed in America again. Like, you know, it's different, man. And you know, some people fall in the holes. They spend all their deployment money right away. They're drinking every night. You know what I mean? I was still lifting for a while. You know what I mean? Keeping up with, you know, you got to keep focusing. You got to keep working. You know, then you finally get to leave. They don't put you on leave right away. They're not that dumb.
Yep.
You know, but just that was that word I'm looking for? Like, transition.
Yeah.
That transition
phase
is a lot. It's a lot, man. You know,
they usually give you like 2 weeks of like no leave, and then they're like, all right,
exactly,
you guys are good, and then they give you that big speech where it's like, you know, play stupid games with stupid friends.
You get to have your beer in Germany on the way home.
Yeah,
that was delicious. And then you come back and then you're like, shit, you're back to mad paperwork, and then you gotta unpack everything. You ever been back from a vacation and had to unpack?
Bro, my entire car is full of all my wife's shit. And what did she take back home with her? A fucking pocketbook.
I was in Europe a week ago. My bags are still packed. I didn't unpack them yet.
But then you're going to be like, fuck, where's that pair of pants I
like? Well, I've been pulling it out day by day. Unpacking a little bit every day by day, you know? So, you know, doing that, like, you know, you're unpacking your last year that you lived away, man. And you got to move, basically a whole new move. It's like, you know, now you gotta redo all this. You're like, shit, how do I do this? I'm so used to this. I got so used to doing this.
Yep.
And then, you know, you bottle shit up. You gotta talk, man. You gotta talk to your boys. Like, I felt like a big thing, like, you know, a suicide thing. I had a lot of friends, you know, that I was on deployment with. I can name 5 off the top of my head right now that killed themselves over the years. You know, and it's very sad, you know, and you know, I'm very open about like my life and mental health and everything. I've been in that position. You know, it's a shitty position. You know, thank God. You know, everyone's think I'm here to this day. You know what I mean? But you got to talk about things, man. You know, because you bottle shit up, and then one day you're gonna explode. There's only so much you could put in one bottle before you can only put 33.8 fluid ounces in this bottle before it overfills.
Yeah, a point to every letter.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? So, that's the big thing. So, you know, talk and then just do everything they say. And PTSD, this shit's a thing, man. You know what I mean? Like, I'm, like, you know about, like, I'm 100% disabled. I got my 100% disability, you know? And I always said for years, I was in the infantry. I can't talk about my problems. I'm a man, this, and that. Yeah. Dude, like, this shit's serious, you know? Yeah. You know, bad dreams at night and flashbacks and all that shit and flipping out and, like, alcohol problems and drug problems and family, and that shit's real, man. Yeah. And, you know, like, I still, to this day, like, I have bad trouble sleeping. You know, I've had not really an alcohol problem. I've had a drug problem because of everything. You know, I'm very good nowadays. You know what I mean? Thank God. I settled myself. You know, me and you spoke about a lot about that. Yep. It's just because I finally, like, you know, you got to do things for you. You know, realize what it is and really just, like, you know, like, come to peace with yourself. Mm-hmm. You know, and it's hard to. It really is, man. Especially when you're so dug in your head. It's digging in your head. It's digging in your head. You can't be like, you can't go ahead, cry. You're gonna cry to the Taliban. Oh, I had a bad day. No, they're gonna shoot a dish at you. You know, you know, they're not. No one cares about your problems, man. But you gotta know that this shit's real. You know, so when you come back, don't just start drinking every day again because it's a slippery slope. It really is. I've seen a lot of people fall off. I might not have fallen off at the time, but I have fell off later on. You know, and a lot of it, you know, I do therapy, man. You know, I've been through NA. You know, I do, and that shit helps. Talking to people helps. Friends, I've had friends, a good friend of mine, and he goes through the same thing. He's like, bro, you don't reach out to me. I'm like, I don't know how to reach out to guys like that. Yeah, I don't know how to do that.
You know what I mean?
You know, I wasn't raised, you weren't, even when I was a kid, man, you weren't, Dad, I had a bad day. Nah.
Yeah.
Nah. It's not, you know what I mean? Like, it's just not, it's stigma, you know? But there's a lot of good programs in the military and out of the military to help people for that. You know, everyone's like, oh, you got your 100% disability, you get paid. It's not all that, man. You know, I get paid for a reason.
Yeah.
You know, it's not.
Yeah, I was
it's
definitely
not.
gonna touch on that. Like you're getting paid to help use these resources and live your
Yeah.
everyday life, and just get back to where you have to be. Mental health is like one of the biggest issues, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't ask for help, you're not gonna get it.
Yeah.
Because no one's gonna help you but you.
Yeah.
When you were in the military, were there any resources that you did use?
When I was in, no, because
Okay.
of that stigma. Like, you
Okay.
can't. That was more the resource I used was take everything, bottle it the fuck up, and then go out with your boys and maybe, and drink a bottle.
Yeah.
You know.
Maybe it'll all go away
Exactly.
eventually.
Yeah, but it don't. That shit. Just because you do that, it's temporary solution to a permanent problem.
Yeah, exactly. And if you are listening and you're in the same position, and maybe we can persuade you a little bit to be like, you know what, they're fucking right. Like every guy has this fucking problem. Every guy's asshole itches every now and then.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
It's
But
true.
if you need help, the resources are out there. Whether you're out of the military and needed the help, or you're currently in the military and need the help.
Yeah.
I've utilized everything that the Navy
Same.
has offered me, like for
Now I
mental
do.
health
Yeah.
and all that. And I think it's fucking great.
Yeah,
Like it's great.
I love talking, man. Like,
Yeah,
I
bro.
didn't. There was a while, man. I didn't like from the time my grandmother died, and like up until very, very recently. I did not cry for like I think it's 7 or 8 years straight. I refused to cry just because I'm not being a man. Look at me. I'm sick. I'm covered in tattoos. Everyone's like, "Oh, you're this big guy."
Yeah.
It don't mean shit.
Yeah.
I'll fucking cry like a little baby girl in a candy store nowadays, and I feel great. I feel great
You let
at
it
that.
out.
Everyone needs to cry, man. And then I've had to go through a lot of shit in life. I've had to lose people that I've held very dear to me.
Mhm.
That like family members didn't talk to me for years. Broken relationships. Lost loves and everything. I lost myself for a long time. And up until very recently, beginning of last year, this year, I buckled down and I really, I stopped using drugs. I stopped smoking weed. The one thing I will say, which I don't like, the VA does, like I said, I'm out. I really don't care. Be careful. You go into the VA, they'll try to tell them this, that, this, and that. And instead of trying to make you go to therapy, they'll throw a bottle of Xanax at you. They'll here, take this pill, take that. Don't, if you don't need it, man, don't talk, cry, do that first. If you need it, you need it.
Yeah.
But then, dude, there's always if you could be abusing that shit. You know what I mean? And if you're drinking all the time, you shouldn't be doing that. You know what I mean? It's just not something you want to. And I'm a prime example of it. I suffered from getting all this medicine and shit from the VA, and like I took full advantage of it, and it fucked me up for a while, man. And thank God I have what I have to this day. You know what I mean? I have a great job again. I'm a longshoreman. I just got my longshoreman job.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah, because I was a fireman for a few years, man, and I was struggling with mental health a lot, and I was fighting every week. I was fighting my demons, man, but fighting my demons by fighting other dudes, and I didn't lose a lot of those fights, but I lost myself every time I fought one of those fights, and so it sucks because FDNY was my dream job. I'm hoping I'm fighting to still get it back to this day. But I had to resign, and it's a shitty thing, and that threw me even worse in a hole. When that happened, and it's all because of just these demons, man, that you hold inside of you. And a lot of these people don't know. Like your family they don't know what's going in what you're going through. Only people that know that the dudes you're with, other dudes in the military, like your family don't know. Your girl don't know. You know what I mean? Your friends from home don't know. You know what I mean? So your best bet is to talk to dudes in the military. Go see a therapist, man. Like talk to people. And like that was a big thing I wanted to touch with you on today is mental health, because me and my friend Rudy, a great friend of mine. What's up, Brian? He'll definitely be watching this. He goes to school now, collecting his GI Bill. You know, I did that for years too. That was a great benefit. And me and him we just got news that one of the dudes in our company killed himself, literally like a couple months ago. And before that, it was like 3 months before that, another dude. And it's like, dude. And he's been in that. I don't mean to like but he's been in that position. Like I know he's very open about it. He's not gonna mind me saying it. And I've been in that position, where like those those suicidal thoughts come, and it sucks, man. Like, it really does. Like, I'm getting a little, whatchamacallit, even thinking of it. No. But, like, it's, like I said, you got to realize there's one thing in life you have control over, and that's your thoughts and your brain. That's the only thing you have control over in life. And if you use all the shit they teach you in the military, Army strong and be strong and resilience and loyalty and this and that, then you're good, bro. Just use it. Don't let your brain beat you, because you're in charge of it. You know what I mean? Yep. Whether all the shit you've gone through, other people have gone through it too, worse things, better, whatever. You're not alone. That's the big. Sometimes you just feel alone. Like I live alone. Sometimes the shit gets lonely. I got my dog, I got my cats. There's only so much I can talk to them. There's only so much I can talk to myself in the mirror. Yeah. And I do talk to myself in the mirror a lot.
You answer yourself back?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, God.
I have good conversations with myself.
Yeah,
I fuck with myself.
Yeah. I mean, we do that every day.
Yeah, no, but, and, do therapy and just talking to your friends and staying away from the medicine as much as you can. Like, I'm a big harp on that, man. Because, like, that shit got me. It really took me down a really dark path.
Yeah, there's two ways to take it, the right way and the wrong way.
Yeah, and it took me down a very dark path. And it wasn't even like the alcohol. And then alcohol is just something, you do, but there's some people that takes them down a very, everyone has different demons, man. It's just, and you fall into it, you don't even realize it, and then boom, because you hold all this shit in for so long, and then boom, you explode. And that's what happened to me one day. One day, it was a bad lightning storm outside. Bomb, lightning, thunder. I flipped. I jumped over the counter. I had a really bad flashback from the helicopter accident that day. Really bad flashback, and I flipped shit, man. Like, and then that's the first day I cried in 7 years. And then I went home, cried to my mom. Love mom. That's my girl. Yep. And it's crazy, because I was like, I haven't cried since Grandma died. She was like, today's Grandma's birthday. That shit really stuck with me. It's like, everything happens, I look into shit like that. Whether it means something or it doesn't, And I felt better after. And then, I started doing therapy, started feeling better. And then again, I fell off a little bit again, but I didn't find myself 100% yet. And then I really took control of my mind. And that was a bit, and then, man, like I've been, what is it? What are we, October now? Right? What about it? What's September?
September 2023.
So, man, I got sober in January. So, off all the pills and everything, and I haven't touched them since.
That's a good time, too, to, actually be like, I'm done.
That's it.
2 weeks, a month, you're still in that weird phase where, you're scared, but you're probably at that phase now where you're like.
And I hate to get off topic from the military, but for me,
you're good, bro.
That shit is on topic, bro, because that 21 soldiers a day that killed themselves, that shit is real, and if you're struggling, man, go talk to someone. Talk to anyone you can, man, and you're not alone, and you don't need to go down that path. And that's really, there's so many programs out there, whether it's in the military. If you have a drug problem, go to NA. NA is a great program. If you need it, go to rehab, do whatever. If you go to therapy, go to groups. I went to a PTSD clinic in Montrose, New York. I went away for 2 months. Just dipped off. And it was the best time. I met the greatest dudes, man. Nutcases, all of them.
Yeah, they're all there for the same
Big psych ward, but I was there for the same reasons they were. no one's judging. Man, everyone, everyone goes through it, and like you have your fun. There's also a lot of shit times in the military too. It's not all rainbows and unicorns and payments and awesome times with your friends, and you see a lot of hurtful shit that a human being honestly shouldn't have to see. I've seen a lot of shit that people shouldn't have to see that still sticks with me to this day. And I thought, man, I'm fucking strong. I could deal with it, man. Whatever. I guess not. And I came to that conclusion a while back. And if I'm telling you, if I can, then I'm not saying I'm this big tough guy, but I always thought I wasn't, and it took me down.
Yeah.
A really bad place, and now I'm in the best place in my life, man. I'm happy. Genuinely say I'm happy. I got my family back. I got a great job again. And you start seeing things coming back, and as long as you're happy, if I'm happy, then that's it. None of these material things mean anything to me.
Yep.
I could be living in a box with a big smile on my face, rather than me how I was last year living in I have a beautiful house. I live here alone, laying on that couch every day, depressed. I would rather live in a box with a big smile on my face with nothing.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, exactly. All these resources that you use, obviously, after the military, were they all offered like through the VA? Did they help you get everything?
A lot of through the VA helped me with a lot.
Okay.
Some of it I had to do on my own, like NA. You can go find then your own.
Yeah.
It's a program. There's a meeting every night. You know what I mean? There's AA meetings every night. There's groups every night. A lot of the things I did find through the VA.
Okay.
Like therapy I did through the VA. The PTSD clinic, that was an outpatient thing. That was through the VA. They have inpatient programs, outpatient programs. They have groups. They have Zooms. They have everything. You psychiatrists, therapists. They got everything up the wazoo you could think of.
Mm-hmm.
Might not happen right then and there,
yeah,
but it'll happen, and at least you get the ball rolling, and you don't just keep sitting on the couch.
Yeah, and these are all paid for 100% by the VA.
So whether you're disabled 100%, whether those are paid, those are done. You're getting that.
Yeah.
And if someone tells you can't, to go to the next fucking person because they're wrong.
Yeah.
They don't know what they're talking about. So
when you went to the VA, you just walked in like how's that process for you? Like when you first get out.
So when you first get out, you do the ETS, with end term service or some shit like that, and then they do your medical and they check you. They do. When you got out, you were still in that mindset like, oh, you know what I mean, tough guy. So I didn't want to say shit. And then I finally got my disabilities years later, but I still got it, and then I got my back pay. But yeah, you go to the VA, you get your card, you can set up time with a therapist, you can do anything there. You got a primary care doctor, and I go there for everything. I so happen to have my 100%, so I go there for medical, dental, whatever.
Okay.
Not everyone has that, you know what I mean? But you have medical. Any veteran can go to the VA for medical stuff. You know what I mean? So yeah. So as long as they're not gonna no one's gonna say no to you, but some of the shit. And if not, they'll point you in the right direction. You know what I mean? And whether you have health insurance or not, you need to do it either way. You know what I mean? Otherwise, it's not gonna matter, man. So, but my biggest things is just good mental health, man, and and the great times with your boys. That's what I'm keeping most out of this whole podcast today, man, with you.
That's literally we could turn this camera off and just probably speak for hours about the greatest times. And if you're in the military, I'm sure you can do the same. And if you're thinking about joining it, just don't second guess yourself to see if maybe it'll be the worst decision of your life. Nah, it's about what you put into it is what you're gonna get out of it. Yeah. You know what I mean? If you go in,
it's not for everyone.
No. If you go in with a sheet, well, that's why they only do 4 or 5 day contracts, and then they let you get out. Uh-huh. It's not for life. Just make sure you do your research before you go in this way. It'll better your military experiences. But if you go and you end up somewhere you don't want to be, you're gonna be.
And I'm sure you've seen it too. I've seen dudes come in and realize, this shit ain't for me.
Yeah.
And then it's 100%. A process and a half to get your ass out.
Yep.
I've seen dudes get themselves thrown out on purpose because they couldn't take it.
Yeah. I've seen some dude like people would just go steal from the next.
Yeah.
Steal from places on base
just to get in trouble.
Just to get in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
You're I don't know. It's just there are a lot of ways that you can go about things like that. You know, you can honestly be open and seek mental health and be like, hey, like I'm not fucking feeling this anymore. You know what I mean? And then maybe they can help you, you know, talk through the ways of why. Maybe you really do love it. You're just having like a really bad fucking
bad day.
Yeah. We all have.
So yeah, I had a bad day.
It's a good song. We don't have copyright for that. So you joined the military what day?
Yep. You said what? You said what?
I said you joined the military what day?
What day did I join?
I feel like everybody remembers this.
Yeah,
it's the most miserable day of your life.
I'm half a lot of brain cells over here. I have to sleep. April 23rd, 12th. Yeah.
It's the day before my birthday.
Yeah.
That's dope. Yeah. So you joined in 2012. Damn, you joined like right when I graduated high school.
Yep.
That's crazy. And then you got out in 2015?
2016.
2016?
Yep.
Oh yeah, so that was like soon after like we rekindled.
Mm-hmm.
You came when you came back to
When
Staten
I came
Island.
back, yeah.
I was like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
And then
we found out later we're cousins.
Yeah. It was my going away party actually for the Navy.
Yep.
And Dawn was there, and you were like, how the fuck you know him?
Yep.
Yeah. And then she was
Funny
like,
small
this is like my nephew. I was like,
small world. Yeah.
damn. All because I joined the military.
Yep.
See, I made great friends even before I got in the military.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
True.
He was definitely a help, you know, when I joined. I mean, granted, Army, Navy, Seabees, infantry, completely different.
But still, man, it's all brotherhood.
Yeah, we all get paid my pay. You know, we're all the same people.
And everyone will be there, have each other's backs no matter what. That's the great thing I always take from it. It's that camaraderie. That's what I was looking for.
Camaraderie. That's a good word.
I love that fucking word.
You sound like an E7.
I am an E7. And it's the camaraderie, man, the brotherhood, and you know, like I said, I still talk to, and even if there could be dudes that I'll talk to for years, I'll see them, it'll be like we're back in a hole. Fucking shooting the shit, big hug, you know what I mean? Like, it's just great, man. I don't regret a thing about it. All this crazy bad shit I've been through over the years, the good shit over the years, I don't regret it. It's the best thing I ever did in my life.
I agree.
No matter what.
I agree.
You know, I've have a great education because of it now. Like, I went to school for years after my GI Bill. You know, I get the help I need nowadays because I open myself up to it. You know, and I'm a way better person because of it nowadays. I help myself by helping others. You know what I mean? I hope what we talked about today can help other people. You know what I mean? Because that when we talked before the podcast, I actually asked you, I was like, well, we're just going to talk about the military. Because my big thing of me is like the mental health thing nowadays. I'm like seeing now how what happened to some of my friends over the years, man, because some of them ain't with us no more.
Yep.
That made it home. You know what I mean? And it sucks. It really does. It's a sad thing. And it could have been me, could have been you, could have been any of us, you know. And as long as everyone's there for each other at the end of the day, I think, you know, it's the best. It's the best thing.
Yep.
So
same uniform, different name.
That's it, man.
Don't matter.
That's it, brother.
Well, is there anything that we talked about so far that I haven't asked or we haven't touched on that you would want to touch on?
No, man. I think we pretty much got everything.
Okay.
This is pretty good. Like I said in the beginning, you were like, "Oh, you're smiling already." Now I'm I'm like, "Oh, like I did it the other day. I went through all my pictures and whole videos."
Oh,
and
you
shit.
did? See, it's good to reminisce.
Yeah, you gotta do it, man.
Yeah, I'm not. No one's here like this whole, you know, like fighting for freedom might sound like maybe it's like, you know, like fighting. We want to know about like your stories. No, I don't give two fucks about what anybody did when they went anywhere else.
No.
If they want to talk about it, be my guest. You know, that's why I have a microphone and you have yours. We're not sharing.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
So, but it's good to have people come on and for me to hear these stories because it's like kind of why I'm doing this, right? And I've said it once and I'll say it again. I just like to talk to people and hear stories, especially, you know, family, right?
Yeah,
so
100%.
that's fun too. Like I learned more about you than I've ever known in this whole like hour and a half we've been on here.
Yeah.
So I just want to thank you for your time, bro.
Yeah.
This was honestly was amazing. I love you.
Well,
Thank you very much.
Thank
Until
you,
next
guys.
time, guys. Take care. Brush your hair.
That was good, man.